So back in early 2018, I decided to take a trip to Berlin, Germany. It was a trip that, I had planned or talked about with my wife ever since August of the year prior. And when I traveled to Berlin, I was there from mid-January to about to early April. 2018. And when I traveled to Berlin, I had three goals in mind. One, I wanted to fulfill a dream of living abroad over in Europe. Two, I was working on my own personal development and working on overcoming fear. And three, I was aiming to land a job in Berlin, Germany. Needless to say, that last one did not pan out so well, landing a job in Germany, and I will create a video talking about my experiences of doing interviews in Berlin, why I didn't land the job, and what I learned from interviewing and exploring the possibility of landing a job in Berlin, Germany. But as far as the other two, I was able to achieve those, and I did learn a lot about myself with regards to traveling abroad and living abroad on my own. So the first one, fulfilling my dream of living abroad, I have visited other countries in other world regions. So I've been to East Asia. Obviously, I live in North America, and I visited countries here in Latin America, but I had never gone to the European mainland. And I figured, hey, I was at a stage in my life where I had the opportunity to travel, and I wanted to go and explore Europe. But I had never been to Europe, and at least in 2018, the situation was right. It was correct. It was perfect because as an American, I could just travel to any European country without requiring a visa and stay there for 60 days, so 3 months. I'm sorry, 90 days. So for 3 months, pretty much just find your own place, bring your own money, and you're ready to go. You can do anything you want. So I was able to achieve that piece. The second piece of being able to work on overcoming my fears. So this was a personal development aspect of my travel there. So one of the things that I was trying to really work on were achieving two things. Getting comfortable with being uncomfortable, meaning you are going to be going to a country where you don't know the language, you don't know the culture, you don't know how to read some of that language. How are you going to react? How are you going to understand the navigation around this world, where you're not originally part of this world, right? You don't speak the language, you don't read it, and you have no friends or connections there to help you in anything. And I was trying to simulate what my parents had to undergo and undertake as they themselves moved to this country many, many, many years ago to bring forth an opportunity for their children to grow and live in a brand new country. How difficult was it for them? Because I haven't experienced that same level of difficulty myself. So I wanted to know, hey, my parents came from Mexico. How hard was it for them not to know the language, not to have any friends, not to read or anything? Come here, make their living here in a new country and survive, right? Can you do the same? Right? Are you as strong as they are? And this experience gave me that. Like, yes, I am strong. I am able to take this uncomfortable situation. Not only that, but I have the flexibility to move somewhere. I'm not and live there, and nothing's gonna happen. You're not gonna die. You can think of all the worst worst things in your mind about what could happen. You could get kidnapped. There could be a terrorist attack that happens somewhere in Berlin, Germany. Like, you die. All this really awful things in your head, and none of that happened. Right? There were a few instances here or there where I got cheated out of some money by some really bad business people there who took advantage of a foreigner who didn't know what he was doing, and that's the worst of it, right? And that's gonna happen anywhere, anywhere you travel. So, bottom line, I learned a lot about myself, and I was comfortable with being uncomfortable, and overcoming that fear of just going somewhere new was phenomenal. The other thing too is that I was working on trying to fit my lifestyle and not fit my lifestyle, but try to see if my way of thinking and my way of being at this moment would work with a new career lifestyle I'm working to set on my own, and that is the being a self-employed consultant, self-employed freelancer. Uh, being your own boss, working on your own is incredibly difficult, not only because you have to do a lot of work, a lot more work than if you were just a simple employee that just comes in, punches in the morning, gets heads down on their computer, and then punches out at in the afternoon and goes home. Um, that's easy. Things that you have to take into account are when you're being self-employed is doing your own sales, doing your own marketing, doing your own negotiation, doing your own contracting, all that stuff that you normally would never have to do. Not only that, not only on top of that work, but you also don't have a clear path to being a successful small business owner. You could read all these books or follow all these advice, but the pieces of advice are spread all over the place. It's not like when you go to school and you learn how to program, or how to be a medical doctor, or how to be a scientist. You have a structured path to get there, and then after you're done with college, hopefully you've interviewed with enough people to land a job, right? Here, the information is spread all over the place. Some of that information is good. Some of that information is terrible. How well would you do uh, with an uneven path being set in front of you, with an unstructured life being thrown in front of you, and you try to navigate it, right? Uh, and this was another reason that I wanted to travel abroad, to go somewhere where I had never been to before, and where I couldn't speak the language. And I gotta have to say, it worked out. It worked out great. I learned a lot about myself. I continued in digesting what I had learned during that period that I was there, and I came back knowing more about myself, knowing where my weak spots were, and continuing to focus and continue to understand and digest that experience, and how I could make sure to continue having the courage to move forward on those weak areas, and overcoming certain fear of 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 the future. Uh, Needless to say, I did. So over the few days, I am going to be creating some videos here. Actually, I already created some videos that I recorded back when I was in Germany, in Berlin. I recorded a couple of videos very early on, maybe like the first month that I was in Berlin. But I decided not to post them because at the time I was working. I was thinking to myself, probably these videos wouldn't make enough sense. Like, what's the purpose of me uploading these videos onto the web? But I feel that these videos are important because it talks about my personal beliefs, which could be controversial for some people, right? The way that I express my beliefs is different than maybe what what other people have heard in the past, and I was just afraid. So this was another aspect of my own personal development, which is how comfortable are you expressing your opinions to others? And this is something that I am now even more comfortable now being 2019. Now I'm way much more comfortable in expressing my opinions and letting other people know what how I feel the world is structured, how it's put together, and how it works and how it can be made better, right? And so in the next few days I'll be uploading these videos. It's funny because the videos are going to be structured in two segments. So I recorded my initial videos with my opinions early in 2018 when I a month into living in Berlin, and then I didn't upload them. But then I recorded another set of videos with an overview and introduction to those same videos right before I left in April. Back here to the States. So the video will be a quick intro about the video recorded in early 2018, and then the actual video itself. So it will make sense, and that's okay. Check them out. I hope you like them, and I will I will be keeping an eye out on the comment section and seeing what you think. All right, bye.